Welcome, welcome one and all. Just have to adjust here. So, welcome one and all. Friends, family, ladies and gentlemen, Amenton staff and students, to this wonderful, special, and honorary thrill occasion of connecting two people together. They may have a lot of connection or a little. That does not matter. What matters is that they find the resemblance. And they get to know that person, and they get to recognize and understand the resemblance. And they become friends with the resemblance. As you know, that is something that we highly value, and that is one of the most important, most common, well-found things of this mention is resemblance and custom resemblances. So, without further ado, I would like the following individuals to step forward in front of me, side by side, as if they were about to get married, as if I was Ted Allen on a shot, and I was about to eliminate one of them from the competition. Okay, the following individuals, please step forward. Deborah Silverman, Melody Clutter. Now, the two of you are gathered here together in this, as they say in weddings, holy day of matrimony, but we call it this grand small world connected together, of which, if we have a resemblance, I suggest that we find it sometime in our lifetime and we get to know that person, get to really talk with and do things with and show those connections, show those things in common, but also share and grow upon and be interested in and learn from each other of what differences we have makes relationships interesting. And that's why everyone's so unique. It's because of the fact that they have their own DNA, their own genetics, and a lot of people are even the slightest bit remotely close or incredibly connected to another person. Another reason is it could be by family history, family personality, how they act, what they say, what they do, how they go about their life. But hanging above it all is your individual self. The fact that you're your own person despite whatever lead up to, whatever cells or genetics or family that you have. And you're individual in your own astrology. And the natal chart in the placements of all of the planets, sun and moon and ascendant sign, tells it all. And today, we're going to honor, commemorate, and celebrate all of those things. Now, I just want to, before I begin the prayer officially, before I get into the connections and differences, I want to introduce you to a very, very special and very treasured book. This brings back a lot of memories. This is the songbook, the binder that I used when I took lessons with Melody, when I took singing lessons. And we sang quite a few gorgeous and classical songs from movies and TV shows, and I really have to admit that I learned quite a bit about singing, breathing, melody, diction, all those types of things. And that was when everything was turned lopsided in my days, where there was a lot of issues with voice changing. Let me just introduce you to a couple of the most famous and the most common, some of my favorite songs that we have sung to. One of them is Joshua Fit the Battle of Jericho. I don't know if you've all heard it, but it is a song that's an old spiritual. It's old folklore about this Joshua character that's really, really mighty and powerful and really wants to beat his enemies, to win in battle. And he is said in this song as well, in the melody and the speed of it, well, it's minor key, but it's really, really fast paced and it's really upbeat and it's a really, really fun and dynamic song that I think would make for a lot of neat connections and really, really wonderful, special moments. If this were like a group performance, like a choir performance of a song. It's a classic. And another song that I recall very, very vividly is, I'm trying to find it, The Violet. Such a gorgeous song. It's so pretty. It's so beautiful. This song is also in a minor key. And it's a slower song that talks about the shy-like Violet that's a kind of reserved, kind of afraid to show herself, but really, really beautiful, kind of low self-esteemed, kind of like Virgo, really. I think that's what the sign is for the flower, but if I find lyrics from any of these songs that really apply to this connection, then I will read off of those things. But it's very, very poetic as well. And then it goes into the major key. And the next song, although not sung very well by Dick Van Dyke, is Put on a Happy Face. I think that this song is wonderful for this time of year, and it really represents the Gemini sun sign. Gemini is really lucky and light and positive and very social, very talkative, and I think that any Gemini can cheer anybody up if they're having a rough day or they're sad, depressed, angry, mad, lonely, whatever. If they're feeling blue or inhibited, then I know that these two individuals standing before me are excellent at really making great role models, cheering everybody up, and really being there in help and gotten, and being there to really teach and inspire and really make everyone put on a happy face. So it's very, very, as I said, happy-go-lucky, joyful-go-lucky song. And the next song that we did is a classic. Shenandoah. Shenandoah, you know? Oh, Shenandoah, I love your daughter. So, this song is another song which is very, very slow. It's in major key, and it at times is a very, very emotional song by its rhythm, by the melody and that alone, and maybe the lyrics as well. I don't really have a lot to say about it. But another song that we did, I just want to introduce you here, is, let's see, trying to find it. Oh, this is it. Feed the Birds. I think that you've all heard of this song before, Feed the Birds from Mary Poppins. And this is again in minor key. It's kind of it's a slow song about this bird woman, as you all know, who gives away toppings or food to the birds. And it's really thought-provoking. It's really heart-touching and heartfelt, really Piscean of nature, of thinking of those lonely birds and giving them food. And it's just a gentle, soft-hearted, very selfless woman who I'm pretty sure is a Pisces woman, which you know all about. But I think that you've all heard of it. And I know that a lot of these songs are going to make a fine addition to my pageantry atheist, my 2 pints piece. So, that's what I wanted to talk about first and foremost. But the next piece of information is the point why you're all gathered here. Right? Both of you are here together to really make and discover and appreciate wonderful connections between you. So let's talk about each individual, break them down one by one. So let's begin with Deborah Silverman, who is, as you know, an astrologer, a psychotherapist dealing with mind and sociality, depression, anxiety, all of those types of things. So I'm a therapist, very, very gentle and very healing to others, inspiring with words, very wise in those areas, with all those types of things. Gentle, soft-spoken, and a person who really show that loyalty toward one and that one-on-one, really beautiful and intimate, deep get-to-knowing and helping and really showing up and resonating person. Very heartfelt. She, as you all know, has a YouTube channel, Deborah Silverman Astrology. And there's a lot of videos, a lot of very simple, very fun, very funny, and very informative videos on astrology. I recall that in the introduction video, in the little preview video, she talks about how, if you ever read Linda Goodman's Sun Sign books, I've never read them, but there's a lot of information, making it so simple, and so funny, and so easy to understand, and so little information, and to the point, and really the person who makes a lot of individuals fall in love and really get to know and trust and maybe even believe in astrology. I remember the picture for channel stated, "You may not believe in astrology, but astrology believes in you." And that's really the message. That all of us, when we're born, we are just a combination. We are the universe. Now, I remember watching Wrinkle in Time, the new one. What if we are not a part of the universe, but the universe is a part of us? Think about that. Think about how wonderful that sounds. Isn't that something? It really is something. Well, so we're all born with all of the planets aligning in different constellations, which are the 12 signs, which you should all know. And all those planets and signs have different meanings, and we're all our own individual. No chart is like any other. And astrology really allows us to see potential, and really allows us to have appreciation and respect and love, not only for ourselves and others, but others as well. And it can lead us, it basically tells us how our life is going to go, what we're going to be doing, saying, how we're going to be going about our life in a certain time through all of the planets and all of the different meanings of that, the signs. And a lot of you may think that is hogwash, woo-woo, and foo-foo business, but then that means that all of you don't believe. But as long as you know and trust, as long as once in your life you need to look at your natal chart, type in the birth information and look at it and study it and understand just what you need to know, just the basics of it. I think if I were the governor, that would be mandatory. That would be a mandatory order for everybody. So that's all I have to say about that. That astrology is psychology and astronomy combo, but allow Deborah to educate on astrology. Videos about the anxiety of the different signs, basic horoscopes, what the signs basically are, horoscopes with the sun, moon, and other planets are at every 2 to 3 days. Additionally, acting out all of the different elements, all of the different sun signs, which are, so be warned, very exaggerative and very over the top, and very animated and unrealistic. But they are very, very entertaining, and they're very, very fun and very humorous, and they really made me, and I'm sure everyone in this room, open and interested and really motivated to feel that astrology is interesting and important and a good, valuable, and natural, practical thing to get into and learn and study. Which so phenomenal. Those things that you did were phenomenal. And also acting out all the different elements: earth, fire, air, water. So let's see here. And also I should mention, and I did name several videos off of her channel, but also anxiety and astrology. How each of the different signs get anxious, where that comes from, on how to cure it, remedy it. But what is the remedy for the different signs? Because we all have anxiety. We all do. That comes from our sun sign. And what's also in our chart as well. And there's a lot of other videos on the channel, but I'm just naming a huge amount. And also, there's a very, very expensive, almost $1,000 school called Applied Astrology. Level 1 is all the astro information. Level 2 is giving readings, becoming an astrologer. And level 3, I'm not too sure about that. But if you have that amount of money, maybe you can check it out. Maybe you can do for 6 weeks when it opens up again in February and September. But that's about it for that. And now I want to talk about the next mentioned guest, which is Deborah's resemblance and that is Melody Clutter. Melody Easter Clutter. Now, we're going to get into customs and custom resemblances here in just a second. But now we're going to be talking about Deborah's resemblance. Now, Melody was a choir teacher at the local high school over there for a lot of years. Teaching at somewhere in Des Moines currently, Southeast Polk. Gives singing and voice lessons. So very, very gifted and talented and real base on music, which is the profession and passion and life. Has a grand piano, which I'm envious of. Now, we're going to get into custom resemblances, and also, I had the honor of getting to have lessons way back in the day. So now we're going to get into the custom resemblances. So, with that, we're going to be starting off with Deborah Silverman. Remember that customs and custom resemblances may sound like nonsense and randomness, but if you understand all of those things, then you'll be able to see. I just want to remind everyone what a custom is. A custom is an occasion, and it is a word that you name it after, thought after, before, or during that occasion. A custom is not like what you find out of those traditional traditions out of groups. That's not how it's defined here. A custom is dealing with an individual and the occasion and the experience of the individual or yourself through weather, food, places, face picture, which is random object that you see while looking at the face. And also their custom resemblances. So the resemblances and the customs and random words from the resemblances. That's what a custom resemblance is. And I can think of several words coming to mind right now, and I may think of a lot of other things to say after this. But this is what I have in mind right now. Now, we're going to look at our amazing guest, Deborah. So, a couple of words that I can think of would be Pat, reminding me of my Aquarian aunt. It's personal. In facial feature and personality, both air signs, by the way. I remember going up to those several Thanksgivings. All the big long table and all the family members and all the socialization, all the getting to know each other. Such a good cook. It was a blast. We did so much. But anyway, that's one of the things. And then the next thing that I have in mind is Marian Esposito. Marian Esposito, as you should all know, is an Italian chef. She has a cooking show called Ciao Italia. And she is a Leo woman. She connects in ways of speaking, voice quality, voice personality, or the personality through talking. Accent. Accent is another really, really big one. And the next resemblance that I have to think of is sort of a masculine one. And this one is the current teacher, choir director of the Dome. I'm not going to name who it is. But this goes in speaking. It can maybe be in facial expressions. And I'm trying to think who else. Well, let's see. And besides the customs and custom resemblances, everything else is own individual person. And the other thing that I have in mind is the resemblance right here, right now. I have several words for this resemblance. Melody. And the words include sort of random. I can't remember the last name, but I always remember when I had lessons, and I always remember being called sunshine. So that's one of the words. Shining, beaming, energetic, fun, entertaining, funny, wild, loud, all those types of things. Another thing is Reinhardt. That was another teacher that I had in 4th grade. Really connecting in speaking, voice, personality, and quality, being a very, very Cancerian, very heartfelt, very emotional, very nurturing individual. And I remember that she always gave hugs, which connects a little bit. And I just thought of a random word for that individual that I didn't believe. It was just something that I thought of. And that word for